Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Gizmo Joe. Today I have an Android TV stick. This guy I got off of geekbuying.com. Now I found him in the clearance section. It was only about 15 bucks with shipping. So I said I have to snap that up because that is a steal. So as you can see, it's pretty generic. The only sort of identifying name that's on here is the MK809V 4K mini PC. What I can tell you about it is that it has a Rockchip processor on the inside. It's the 3229, and it's got 1 GB of RAM. So it's not anything flashy, but what I love about it is that it's really compact, and it's got that built-in HDMI, which allows you to just plug it straight into the TV, which I think is fantastic, because if you're going to travel and you want to take, your Kodi stick with you or whatever, these are the way to go, because it's got everything in one neat little package. Now, I didn't bother doing an unboxing because it's basically just the stick on the inside and a couple cables. It's got a pretty decent manual, as you can see in here, but if you're familiar with how these things work, I mean, you're not going to be reading it, but it is in pretty good English, so if you have any questions, you could always refer to that thing. Now, this guy, as you can see, I'll just quickly go through it. So it's got a micro SD or TF card, so a flash card there, so you can expand the memory. Now, I should mention that the this device itself only has about 8 GB of storage, and there's only about half of that which is available to use. But this little guy here, so this is a micro USB. So if you have an OTG cable, or on-the-go cable, you can plug that in there and connect something to it. Now, there's another micro USB port on the side here, and that is the power. So you need to have that connected either to a wall charger thingy, or you can plug it straight into your TV if you have a TV that has a USB port on it, and that's what I do, and I find it very, very convenient. Now, you've also got a full-size USB over here, so the way that I use this guy is I have a hard drive connected to this one, and then I have an OTG cable, which is just here. Now, the OTG cable was not included in this, which I was a bit disappointed with, but as you can see, I've got my little Logitech dongle plugged into it, and that just fits into this guy like so. And it kind of hangs there, although this thing's plugged into the TV. It's behind the TV, you can't really see it, so it's not a big deal. And the keyboard that I use is this little guy, which is just the Logitech K400R. Now, as I mentioned before, you're going to need a standard micro USB to standard USB for power. So that just plugs into the side here. And then, like I said, I use my TV's USB port to supply this thing with power. So everything, I mean, there's a couple cables kind of hanging off of it, because then I have, my hard drive plugged into this and everything. So there's lots of cables, but I just plug it into the back of the TV. You can't see it. The keyboard still works great. It's still all within range, and I think it's really, really good. So one of the things I should mention is that it does come pre-installed with a version of Kodi. Now, it's a forked version of Kodi. It's the Trip MC, which is kind of based on the Rockchip processor. I did a little research online. I'm not too familiar with Rockchip, but I know that some of their devices don't play well with Kodi. You can't install the official Kodi app or the vanilla Kodi app, and so there's all these forks and other builds that will get you there. Now, I tried to install the regular Kodi app onto this device, and I could not get it to work. So I was stuck with the Trip MC version. I'll leave a link down in the description of this video below if you're curious in checking it out. But again, it's a forked version of Kodi that works with this particular device, and I mean, it looks exactly the same. I don't have an issue with it, so it serves its purpose. Like I said, I'm still in the States, so like when I travel, I like to use this guy because, again, fits really easy into my bag. It weighs nothing. I got to carry a couple cables with me, but again, I can just take my Kodi with me, which is great. Now, one of the things I should mention is I got this guy on Geek Buying a few weeks ago. I found him, and again, it was like 15 bucks or something with shipping. It was an insane price. But the problem is I've had a look since then, and it's no longer available. So they obviously didn't have very many of these left. I cannot find this specific one, and again, it's a sort of generic device. I don't really know who makes it. There's nothing really on the side here other than that, you know, MK809VRK, or 4K, sorry. So I'm not sure who makes it, can't really find it, but I was able to find very, very similar ones on Amazon. So I'll leave links in the description below for similar sort of devices. Now, unfortunately, I could not find one on Amazon that was as cheap as this one. Like I said, I got this for about 15 bucks. The ones on Amazon that I saw are about, $30 to $40. But again, they're essentially the same sort of build. So it's this little stick, HDMI, plug it straight into the TV, you're good to go. I will say that I'm pretty sure that the ones on Amazon are quad-core, so, a little bit better processor. I think there might even be 2 gigs of RAM, which is only going to help performance. So, I mean, if you're happy with that sort of price, then I would highly recommend it, because I've had no issues with this little guy. YouTube works great, and again, the Kodi build that's on here works, and I don't have any problems. You just will have to get yourself one of these OTG cables, and they are cheap enough to find. I mean, you can get them on eBay for just I would say probably $1. You could probably get them on Amazon as well. I mean, they're all over the place. They're super cheap, so if you don't have one, definitely pick one up, because otherwise you're gonna have to use your dongle in the USB portion here, and you're not going to be able to plug in a flash drive or a hard drive or whatever. Now, if you use a server, obviously that's not an issue. And in that case, then you can just leave your dongle in there and take it with you, and you don't have to worry about all the extra cords. But unfortunately, when I travel, I don't have access to my server, so I usually just bring a flash drive or a external hard drive and watch movies and TV shows and stuff off of that. But anyway, like I said, this guy is incredibly convenient. I like to take it with me when I'm traveling. It's definitely going to live essentially in my bag, and highly recommend it. It's good performance for the price. I'll leave a description down below for you to grab one that's similar. Like I said, unfortunately, I cannot find this exact unit, but I'll leave some links to products that are very, very similar, and hopefully you can pick yourself up one if you are interested. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. I'm still in the States for another couple days, and then I'm heading back to Australia, so there might be a bit of a gap in terms of videos, but I am going to be cranking them out. I have a whole bunch of phones waiting for me back in Australia that I'm really, really eager to get my hands on and review. So just stay tuned. And as always, like, subscribe, share on social media, whatever. It really helps me out. Anyway, this has been Gizmo Joe, and I will see you next time.